Hey, I'm Dan Jimenez with Engearment.com, and today we're bringing you a knife review by Case Knives. We have the CT2 Hunter fixed blade knife. Let's check it out. So the CT series of Case knives are a collaboration with Chris Taylor, who's an Arkansas-based knife designer, and all three of them have different sizes, different steels, different handle materials, different blade shapes. So be sure to go to the website, check them out. This particular type of knife, the main use is everyday carry, outdoor knife use in general, and then, as the name suggests, hunting. All right, so let's take a closer look and check out the specs. Here we have the leather sheath, which is really high-grade construction, really thick leather, nice stitched and riveted, and it is extremely durable. I'm sure it'll break in over time, but it really does lock the knife in place really well once it's inside. Leather's great, awesome outdoor material, have the belt loop, and it feels pretty secure because it is very deep in there. I think the one drawback, if I'd call it a drawback, is pulling it out pretty much requires two hands, or it needs to be really solidly on that belt loop, so you can kind of use the belt loop as resistance to pull it out. No fear in losing that knife with this sheath. Here we have the blade. It is a drop point made of S35VN steel with a stonewash satin finish. It's a carbon steel, but the VN is basically vanadium added in the process, which makes it corrosion resistant and a harder carbon, so it has a little bit better edge retention. The handle material is smooth black carbon fiber weave, which is really nice, really smooth. I'd say the one drawback to that, though, is especially if you're using it as a hunting knife and you're doing some skinning, that type of stuff, even though it's a nice small blade, the blade is 3.6 inches and has nice control for some of those finer movements. It's got this awesome indexing for your finger to help with control. The one downside, I would say, is because this handle's so smooth. You can see it's super glossy, looks beautiful. But if you've ever skinned an animal, you'll know there's a lot of fat and blood and other sorts of materials that can make your hands slippery. And this could maybe be a little bit slick if your hands are covered in, fat or something like that from the animal while you're skinning it. But there's this indexing point, which, I don't know, feels pretty stable. And I'd have to maybe put some coconut oil on my hands and see if I can skin the chicken that's in my fridge. So that would be my only concern with the smooth finish. But other than that, I think it's a beautiful knife. The total length of this knife is 8 inches. It's a 3.6 inch blade, 8 inches in full length, and it's super lightweight, 3.3 ounces. And it's super well balanced. Like, it really feels good in hand. It's super light, super maneuverable, but also it feels solid. There's a little heft to it. So even though it's like lightweight, it does not feel cheap in any way. It feels really good, and I feel like this is a knife that you could use for a lot of different things. The knife blade is also a full tang, so it goes all the way through to the handle. There is a little lanyard pin at the end of it, so you can put a piece of cordage through there. One thing that's different about this knife than a lot of other knives that are fixed blade is instead of rivets, they're actually screws on the handle. So you can change out the handle, or you could take the handle off, lash the blade to a stick or something like that if you need to, make a long spear or something to that effect. Some bushcraft or survival type stuff. The blade also, this is a really thin, very durable because of the steel that it's made out of, and has a flat taper grind on it. So a little bit better for, cutting meat and foods and food game processing, that type of stuff, versus like a Scandinavian grind, which I really like for, carving wood and more outdoor activities. It still does that. However, Scandi grind, I really like those for more of like the woodworking type activities, especially in the backcountry. But this is the Hunter, once again, better for game processing and food prep in general. This also has a 90-degree spine, which is great for using with a ferro rod to start fires. It's also really nice if you're needing to put your hand on for some extra pressure, or for batoning a piece of wood. So that's nice and flat. You can hit it and it won't split that wood that you're using as the baton. Final thoughts on the knife. I think it's a really cool knife design. It's beautifully made, really well balanced knife. The sheath is great. It's super sharp. It cuts really well, and it should have some good edge retention because of the steel and the type of grind that they put on it. Sheath, nice and durable. Love the leather. And what I'd say is this would be great for just everyday carry, going out on a hike, little adventure, that type of stuff. If you're that kind of a everyday fixed blade knife carry person. It's also just a great knife to throw in your backpack and kind of have handy anytime you're going out in the woods. Overall, I really like it. Love the size of this knife. It's, after you've been using knives and been in the outdoor industry for a long time, come to appreciate a smaller, well-crafted knife than some of those bigger survival knives or bushcrafting knives and that type of stuff. So I really dig this. I'm excited to be able to use it some more, and I'll let you know if I have any updates. So there you have it, the CT2 Hunter knife by Case Knives. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section and we'll get back to you. If you like this review, hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to the Engearment YouTube channel. This way you can stay up to date on all the latest outdoor and tech gear that's going to help you on your next adventure. Until next time, I'm Dan Jimenez with Engearment.com.